Pesachim Daf Hey. Today's beautiful email comes from David Hochhauser. He signs off the chassid who joins live on Motzi Shabbos. I'm going to skip a little bit. And he says, R Eli, it won't help you. You're a chassid in your neshama. The frischkeit you instill in us, you cause us to grow and be better chassidim. A chassid does lifnim shrus hadin. I used to learn the daf yoytzit zayin. Now I live the daf. And I'm kind the mitzvah of ahavtes Hashem lekecha b'chol levavcha. Beautiful. And he says, I can't thank you enough to the tune. R Eli, heilige R Eli, you mamish changed my life. You mamish changed my life. David Hochhauser, the chassid who joins live on Motzi Shabbos. Thank you, David. So yesterday we were discussing that the word mishras, to soak, by a nazir, what he soaks, comes to teach us tam ki'ikr, that the flavor imparted by the source is like the source. And we said that that teaches us for the rest of the Torah. Everything, all tam ki'ikr, by nevela, dam, whatever it is. And Rabbi Kiva learns from the word mishras to teach us the idea of heter mitzdarf l'isser. If you have a half a shear, let's say, of heter and a half a shear of isser, it's as if you ate a full shear of isser, but you cannot learn it for the rest of the Torah. Only here by Nazir and one other place, chatas. Why is that? Because we have a concept, if the Torah teaches it to us twice, there's a reason. If the Torah wanted us to tell us to the whole Torah to learn from there, so it would have said it once. But the fact it said in two different places, it teaches only in these two different places. Now, what's this idea of chatos? That is, if a shlamim, which is kachim kalim, touches a chatos, which is kache kachim, and it absorbs some of the chatos, not even a full shear of a kazayis, a little bit, the shlamim becomes just like the chatos, whatever chatos is. So if the kohen had a bad machshava, he's thinking he's going to eat it outside of the allotted time, the shlamim becomes a pigul as well. Just like a chatos, you can only eat it one day, only a kohen could eat it, only inside the azara, only a man. So too, the shlamim just got all those halachas. Chacham say no. The fact is that each one of those psukim, nazar and chatos, I need them to teach you something else. Once I need them to teach you something else, I can learn it out to the whole Torah. What do I need to learn from there? First of all, the idea of heter mitzdarf l'isser, they also learn that, chachamim, but only in kachim. And from nazar, we learn the idea of tam ki'ikr. Rabbi Kiva says, well, I only learn one thing, heter mitzdarf t'isser. And the Torah could have just said it by nazar, and I would have learned out chatos from it. The fact that the Torah repeated itself twice, you cannot learn for the rest of the Torah. But the Torah does say again, that if you take an isser and an isser, you take the seeds of a grape, let's say a half a shear, and you put it together with the peel of a grape, and another eats it, he's over. Why does the Torah have to say that? Because it's telling us a major chiddush, that even if you ate the seeds, and then you stopped, you made a hefsek for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, touch k'dei achilas pras, you ate the peels, the nazar is over. However, when it comes to heter and isser to be mitzvah, you have to eat it like a sandwich, you have to eat it together, and you can't make a hefsek between the two. Says the Mishnah, if you have dough that's plugging up a hole in a bowl, if it's more than a kazayas, you have to make sure it's not there on Pesach. And the Gemara explains that more of a kazayas is talking about if the hole is on the side of the bowl, not on the bottom of the bowl, and we'll explain. There are two brices that seem to contradict each other, and they coincide with two lashonis in Shmuel. The first brice says that if the dough is on the bottom of the bowl, even if it's a full kazayas, more than kazayas of dough, you can keep it on Pesach. And if you table this bowl in the mikvah, it's not a chatzitza. On the wall of the bowl, the dough must be less than a kazayis. That's the first brice. Second brice says very differently. If it's more than a kazayis, you always have to get rid of it, and it's a chatzitza. If it's less than a kazayis, only in the bottom of the bowl. The bottom of the bowl is very necessary to hold in the water. It's lechazik. The side of the bowl is not that necessary, just to hold the dough in. So therefore, even less than a kazayis, it's not part of the bowl. You have to get rid of it on Pesach. So there are three pshatim in the Gemara. Rav Huna says, get rid of the first brisa. Let's go with the more chomer brisa. Rav Yosef says it's not necessary to get rid of anything. There's a Tana that holds like the first brisa, there's a Tana that holds like the second brisa. Why? The halacha is, if you have a giant piece of chametz, and you decide in your mind you want to make it into a cheer, machlokes. According to Reb Shimon ben Elazar, it becomes batal. It's no longer food. In your mind, you decide it's a cheer, it's a cheer. According to Tanna Kama, it's not batal. So we'll take those two sheetas and apply them here. If you have a piece of dough that's more than a kazayis, according to Reb Shimon ben Elazar, I'm mevatel it. I make it part of the kli. According to the Tanna Kama, I cannot be mevatel it. So the second brisa goes according to Tanna Kama. However, as a side note, if you have bread that's not designated as a chair, it was designated as food, but now it's moldy, you must destroy it before Pesach. But it's moldy, it's not roy la'achila. The answer is because I could take that bread and make other dough with it. Sa'ar, I can leaven other things. Therefore, the Torah says, get rid of sa'ar. So I have to get rid of this moldy piece of bread. Abai comes along and says another pshat. And he says there's no machlokes between the two brices. According to everybody, if we're dealing with a hole on the bottom of the bowl, the dough could be more than a kazais. If we're dealing with the hole that's on the side of the bowl, it must be less than a kazais. And then comes Abai and says we're talking about even a third hole. If the hole is all the way in the top, where the dough doesn't even reach, then you cannot use any dough at all. Now, what happens if the hole or the crack is on the outside of the kli? Of course, it's not batal. I would think for a second that maybe the dough sometimes climbs up the wall and goes over. Kamashmalan, not. There's one lashon in Rav that says that Allah is like Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that a person could take a chair made out of dough and say, I want it as a chair, and he could keep it on Pesach in his living room. It has a big giant piece of challah. No, it's a chair. And there's another lashon in Rav that says no, that Allah is not like Reb Shimon ben Elazar. If you want to keep a chair in your living room, you have to coat it with a thin layer of plaster. That's the only way to do it. And if you have two havocs of dough inside your bowl, and they're connected by a string of dough, and if you lift up the string, the two havocs pop out with it, then the two havocs are considered one. It's chametz, get rid of it. If you have two havocs on the floor in your house, we're concerned that when you sweep the floor, they'll come together, get rid of it. The Gemara is mesupik though. What if one havoc is on one floor, and on the bottom floor you have another havoc? Are we concerned they're going to sweep the floors and they'll come together? And if you say yes, what if you have one havoc outside in the courtyard leading into your house, and one is inside? Are we concerned? And if yes, what if you have a room within a room? Are we concerned? Take it. If you have a piece of bread that's moldy, it's no longer good for human consumption, but dogs will eat it. Tanakama holds that that bread still has the ability to impart tumah to other foods if it's the size of a kibetza. Reb Nassan argues. He says no. If once it doesn't have the ability to be eaten by humans, it can't impart tumah. If that piece of bread, according to Tanakama, is truma and it's tar, you're permitted to burn it together with tamei food on Erev Pesach, as we had in Daf Yudalad, because this bread is no longer roy lachilas adam. And if you have a vat that's designated to tan hides, so it has a really bad smell within the vat, even if you don't have hides in it, and you put flour in there, you have to be mevar whatever you have in there if it's within 3 days. Reb Nassan says, and this is the halacha, if you put hides in it, even if it's within an hour of Pesach, that ruins everything, and you don't have to be mevatel it, you don't have to be mevar it. Have a wonderful day.